Arizona, homeowner's best friend.
How do I make my Arizona clay soil act like a sponge? What do I need to put in it, till it, garden it, rake it, amenities? What's the first step?
Well, first step is to break through that clay layer and really at least establish an 18-inch base of kind of churned up soil. Now, there's different philosophies out there, and this is if we got a clay, dry soil, it's dusty on the top, and we're trying to cultivate that, turn that into a garden, I'm going to till it. I'm going to dig that stuff up, and I'm going to churn it. I'm going to get some air into it, and then I'm going to add an ingredient that is almost vital to transforming a native hard pan or even a constructed soil. So a lot of you, and living in HOAs, if you got a new house, that's all been engineered. Your soil is not soil. It's compacted dirt. It's engineering grade concrete dirt, basically. Is what it is. And it's all compacted. And it's at least 3 feet thick of just really hard soil. You got to dig and loosen all that stuff back up and bring some nutrient back into it. Otherwise, it's not going to grow much of anything without a lot of effort. And so you till it, you get it down at least 18 inches of all tilled up, and then we'll add gypsum. So gypsum's a great ingredient that is very helpful at breaking up hard pan and breaking up the effect that clay typically has to our soil, which creates that slimy layer and water just draws off. You get a little bit of gypsum in there, about a half a cup per square foot in your initial installment of it, and that's the first ingredient you put down after you've churned it all up. Now, after that, you got to now start adding some biomass. And so good composted manures is a great layer to be putting in. Something that's alive is very important, because that's the other piece of the puzzle. If I can build a living system of soil, now that's something that can manage itself. I've got billions of little workers of all the microbes and of bacteria, the fungi, all those things working in my favor while I'm not there. And that helps build your soil on the long-term basis. And once you've done that initial tilling, that initial stuff in there, you don't really ever have to till again, provided that you're cycling your crops and cycling your plantings in a proper fashion. And that's another key. It's like no till is really where you want to get to, because the more you disturb a healthy soil, the less effective and vibrant it is. And so we want to kind of not mess with it, because it starts creating this network, a really healthy soil. So just to describe it, if I'm wanting to do a little soil test for myself, I might go into my garden and I'm going to dig a 1 foot little pit. And I'm going to grab some of that soil that's kind of the core of that soil, and I'm going to make a ball out of it. And if I'm holding that ball in my hand and then I open my fingers, a healthy soil is going to crumble apart just a little bit, but still be a little sticky. And it'll fall into little pieces, and I can kind of roll it in my hand, and it'll break into about pea-sized pieces, and it'll be kind of sticky to itself. It'll have a little bit of moisture to it, but it's not dripping wet, so it's got some moisture. It's the little pearl-sized kind of pieces or pea-sized pieces, but it still kind of sticks together. That's a good, healthy soil. Now, if I've got a clay soil and I make a ball out of it and I open my hand, it's going to even show the impressions of my fingers of where they were. And that's, good indication I got a lot of clay. I'm going to probably need a little more gypsum. Now, if it's too dry and there's no life in it and I open my hand, it's just going to all fall apart. It's still going to fall through my hands almost like sandwood. That's not healthy either. So we want somewhere between falling through my fingers and holding tight like a ball.